What's up, guys? We're back once again to r/malicious compliance. If you're wondering why I look like one of the crap people, that's because don't fight the sun. You're not gonna win. Anyways, let's get into the stories, and I'll see you in a bit. Creative digital agencies are crap shows. I work for a prominent marketing agency, creative digital agency, whatever the hell you want to call it. We're in one of the big holding groups, Gartner Magic Quadrant, etc. We win a lot of awards, and truth be told, most of what we do is pretty much all bullcrap we overcharge our clients for. All agencies are just in the business of selling hours for more than they paid them for. If quality or job satisfaction slips in, it's okay, as long as it doesn't get in the way of profit. Anyway, just had a hilarious situation play out and needed to share it with someone. Like most agencies, we'll promise clients during the sales pitch that we have the best staff. And then once the deal is sealed, we'll scramble to find contractors who can do the work for a low enough rate for us to maintain margins. Contractors are never well treated, but often are well enough paid to make up for it. We've been doing a project for about 3 years with one client, and so our contractors are in a bit of a special situation, where they've been with the company longer than many of our full-time folks. 11 months is what we're averaging for career longevity. So, this one traffic manager lady is especially bitchy to contractors. It's her job to find them, but she hates them. Treats them all like they're beneath her. Contractors risk a lot to complain, right? So mostly they just cash their checks and put up with her. Someone on the team is a contractor. And honestly, he's been there for 2+ years and he's amazing at his job. The client loves him. He's the cornerstone on the project. But the GM of my agency hates this contractor. It's all around money. The only thing GM gives a crap about. And power. The GM hates that this contractor had any power. Once the contractor established himself as invaluable to the client, my agency offered the contractor a full-time position, but it would have meant less pay. So the contractor, who had originally asked for a full-time position, since he has a family, turned it down, saying he would take a longer-term contract at his original rate. This cut into the GM's margins, so he was pissy, but had no choice but to sign the deal. Agency was still making out like a bandit. We billed the contractor out at $1,600 a day. He charged us $1,300 a day, so plenty of profit. Any given day, we had 50 people working on projects for this client, with an overall margin of about 45%. Plenty of profit. So, we're completing a major milestone, and wanted to set up a little celebratory dinner. But, more to the point, our contract with the client is up, and the GM wants to renew it. Client was stalling and going through rate negotiation. And despite the fact none of the contractors were getting raises, the GM line is, "We have to increase costs to cover increased salaries every year." Which is true, but he's just doing it because he wants more money. GM doesn't care about staff. So a dinner for about 100 people is where he gets to feign interest until the next contract is signed. And he can go back to not caring about any of the details except if checks clear. Agencies today are never keen on paying for things they don't have to, so it's rare they would foot the bill for a big event. The days of madmen are gone. We're limited to 2 drink tabs. Anyway, we set a launch celebration dinner. Probably costs around $1,500 in food and drinks. Mind you, we bill about $50,000 a day on this project. So a drop in the bucket over 3 years. Still, they hate to spend money. GM's pay are almost entirely based on their ability to hit margin goals. This is why we can't have new computers or nice monitors at agencies. Anyway, back to about a month ago. Trying to set up this dinner, I set out an invite and instantly got an email from the traffic manager, who monitors all after-hour invites to contractors and all their emails at all times. And she scolds me for inviting a contractor to a dinner party. She had a long list of reasons, but 1, we don't want to pay overtime, and 2, We don't want to pay for a dinner for a contractor. We're the top two. It's rude, but par for the course. I talk with a contractor about it, one-on-one, and he tells me that they've told him his contract won't be extended past the launch. He's a little down about it, so I remind him that we baked in a 3 months out clause into his contract, back when they were worried about him leaving. And I asked if they've given him a 3 months notice. He said he forgot about the 3 months out. Says he'll follow up with the traffic manager and see what she says. A few days later, he asked me to read an email. He got a bit of a mischievous look. He had emailed the traffic manager and GM about the 3 months out, and they told him essentially to screw off and said that they aren't paying him past the end of the month. He had kindly responded, "Does that mean my contract is void?" The GM had very clearly paraphrased, "Yes, I don't care what the contract says, you're done at the end of the month." So he's out of his contract and his non-compete. Night of the dinner comes and it's a ghost town. Only our full-time staff are there. None of our client staff or our contractors, who weren't invited, in order to get prepaid discount. The agency spent money in advance on a venue buffet style. Food for 100 people, but there's only like 15 of us there. The GM and some sales guy, accounting manager, very few people who did any actual work, showed up because they hate being used as props by the sleazy sales guys. Nobody from client's team is there. Nobody. GM is frantically trying to get in touch with someone to figure out what's going on. Nobody is answering his calls. Finally, GM gets through to the sponsor VP from the client's team, who responds, "Hey man, sorry, can't chat now. I'm out to dinner with the contractor and my staff. You know, the people who made this launch possible. We're having a great time. Also, just want to let you know that we love the contractor, and we've decided to extend him on the project, and his team of developers and designers will be taking over the support contract." The GM literally threw his plate across the room. There went a few million in billable hours over the next year. The contractor, realizing his contract wasn't valid anymore, went and hired up all the other contractors we had with experience working on the client's project. While not possible for them to work with the client, no non-compete against them working for the contractor's new boutique agency. They even gave the client a cut rate, $1,500 a day instead of $1,600, and he's able to pay the folk he's hired a better rate too, since he doesn't care about having such a ridiculous margin that only really serves to support salespeople. I've heard through the rumor mill he's locked in a 2-year support contract with some ongoing new dev work as well. Even just 10 people, that's $4 million a year billable. Good for him. I've done a lot of work at agencies over the years. Good to see the contractors and clients win for once. If you're unhappy with it, sue me. Okay then. Something happened to me today that made me remember this story, and I thought it would fit well on this sub. LTL FTP, not a native English speaker, posting from a mobile, all that jazz. The TLDR will be at the bottom, cause it's gonna be long. On to the story. This happened circa 2013. I used to have my hair dyed in a lot of different colors. Think pink, purple, green, blue, all the colors in the rainbow. And I always took pride in my hair. I won't have false modesty. I had pretty awesome hair. So well taken care of that people started asking me what my upkeep was. Because of that, I started doing a blog to tell what I did to my hair. And in that blog, I posted photos of my hair's adventures. Obviously. It wasn't huge. I didn't have that many followers. I was on the low hundreds, not a big blogger in no way imaginable. It was just for fun. One day I received a message from a friend saying he saw a photo of me in a catalog, some brand of a hair dye, congratulating me. I was surprised and kinda miffed about it. I asked him to take some pictures of the catalog and send to me. And there it was, a photo I had uploaded to my blog. Immediately, I went to the company's website and took a look at the online catalog, and there it was again. I sent an email to the company asking them to take it down, and they couldn't use my photo for advertising. No answer. I sent a message on their Facebook page telling them the same thing I said in the email, but less polite, I must admit. This time I got an answer. They could send me a few bottles of dye. I could even choose a color they would send. It was good exposure. Why was I so mad about it? Well, the thing is, I don't know how it works in other countries, but here we have something called, and I'm not about to butcher that, it means no one can use your image without your authorization, especially if the person has monetary gain because of your image. I responded to their message, saying they should take everything down and pull every catalog that had my photo in it, that I didn't give them authorization so they couldn't simply use it. Simple as that. There was some back and forth. They're saying that they wouldn't stop using my photo and it was good exposure. That I was greedy because they had already made an offer to give me some products. And I'm saying, adamantly, that the photo must go. The head of the marketing company messages me. Then she gets all cocky, saying that if I didn't want the hair dye, I would get nothing, that they didn't do anything wrong. And here comes the malicious compliance. She said, if you're unhappy with the outcome, sue me. Okay, I'll sue the company and you personally, because you are the person responsible for the catalog. And she's adamant that she was the one who designed it. Long story short, I did sue them. I won. I was awarded a hefty sum, but I still haven't gotten paid because they took everything they owned out of their names and stopped using their banks. That's more common than not in my country, unfortunately. The thing that brought this back to memory is that she messaged me on Facebook today, asking me to make some sort of agreement with her because it's been hell. Her credit is destroyed, she can't use any bank account, she can't have anything to her name, and it's been really hard on her, and she's another victim of the company's owner. She basically asked me to stop pursuing payment. I forwarded everything to my lawyer and will let him handle everything. But I really wanted to say to her, I only did what you asked me to. I sued you. TLDR, hair company stole my photo, used it commercially. I asked them to stop. They denied it and told me to sue them if I was unhappy with it. So I did sue them. Follow your financial advice? Sure, boss. I got a management job at a small business by accident about 2 years ago. Someone got fired, the replacement bailed, and the job landed in my lap. Since then, my responsibilities have been increasing monthly, while my pay has stayed stagnant, at just a bit higher than minimum wage. There are over a dozen responsibilities on my plate that only I can do for us at this point. Even the business owner calls me for help if I take a day off. They need me very much here. Where I live, management jobs are generally about 1.8 times min wage to start. I make about 1.4 times min wage. I have been budgeting, reviewing my finances, and budgeting some more, trying to pay down debts so I can comfortably afford to have kids and maybe a house in about 4 years' time. Despite my best efforts, at my current pay, it'll take me about 6 years to reach this goal. I approached my boss about a raise several weeks ago. He delayed the discussion multiple times, finally giving in and giving all senior employment a 6% raise and impeding a bonus structure for meeting sales targets. Of those employees, I'm the only one whose work directly impacts the sales targets. The fixed rise was under $1 per hour, and the bonus scheme, if I worked my ass off more than ever before, would work out to another $1 per hour on months the target is reached. This total still has me under the pay rate for general management in my area and doesn't account for all the responsibilities I have that only I am trained to do. I told my boss I was unhappy with this, and he gave me a book on financial management, told me to follow its advice, and to stop buying coffees. Chapter 1 of the book recommends you to audit yourself financially, and said that if you budgeted well, trimmed extra expenses, and still couldn't reach your financial goals with your current income, seek a better job. So I'm following my boss's sound financial advice and looking for a new job. Been sending resumes out for over a week now. TLDR, boss who underpays me gave me a book and told me to follow its advice for financial success. First chapter told me to get a better paying job, so I will. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the stories. If you did, consider subscribing. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.